tonight on BBC One. At 7 o'clock, Tomorrow's World includes a look at the dangers of driving.
Barry, I've commandeered a vehicle.
The old trick, eh? Eat the telly before I get a chance to nick you. It's a toaster.
Dalek, you have been defeated. Surrender. You have failed.
Insufficient data.
Nazi ain't got no humanity. They're the foot soldiers of a Jew-hating, mass-murdering maniac, and they need to be destroyed. That's why any and every sumbitch we find wearing a Nazi uniform, they're gonna die.
Is this world protected? But you're not the first lot to have come here. Oh, there have been so many. And what you've got to ask is, what happened to them?
Hello. I'm the Doctor.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Good evening, good morning. I hope you do well wherever you are in the world. I am doing reasonably spiffy over here. Although it cooled down, it got like wet and icky here. But yeah, this is what happens at the at the turning of the season, right? Oh, man, I'm totally frozen. Oh, I know why I'm totally frozen. Oh, it's because I got the Post Millennium open up. That's bloody why. That website, right? That website just destroyed your system resources. Okay, we'll see. Still a bit laggy. I don't know. Well, we'll get to this stuff reasonably soon. Okay, hopefully I'll be able to close down those windows. But good morning. I hope you're all doing well. Oh man, I've had a bit of a day. A bit of a day. So last night, right? The dog was restless, right? Woke me up a couple of times, and it kept wanting to go out. She kept wanting to go outside, right? And then, at one time I heard it's like getting late already, like about 4 or 5 in the morning. I heard her start like grumbling. I know I got up to pee, okay, something like that, and I heard someone like doing weird shit, right? Like mine often does, but it's the dog instead. So and she kept wanting to go outside. I'm like, now let me just explain. The dog, generally speaking, pees and poos in a little. How can I explain this? We have. Okay, the layout of our house is. Do I have to go through all these details? As you go, as you go in, you have a large living room, dining room, and then there's a central staircase in the middle. And if you go off to the left, it's the kitchen. If you go off to the right, it's like the laundry room and like the side door. And then my bedroom's behind that, right? Okay, fine. So she normally pees and poos around the back door. She doesn't. We put a doggy door in for her. She views it as a portal to hell, right? She will not use a doggy door under anything. Basically gave up several years ago. She's just peeing and pooing there. I clean it up, okay? It makes like. So, I'm like, well, she doesn't want to go out and pee. Could she just pee right there? I don't understand what's going on. Anyway, then she was just like antsy. So I get up, right? My wife's already left. It's like 6. I get up. Now, okay. Normally, my routine is I go to synagogue in the morning, and then before services, I study what's called Daf Yomi. It's like you have a different. If you do if you do a page of this thing called the Talmud a day, you finish. It's a codification of Jewish law. You finish it in 7.5 years, right? So right now, the pages are like a lot longer. So I was like, I got to get to synagogue a bit earlier so I can get it done. Otherwise, it's going to take forever. So anyway. So I know I have to get up earlier. Get out. As I come out the shower, right? I'm about to leave. I see the dog has. I don't know if it's vomit. I don't know if it's poo. I don't know what end it came out, but there's like very bloody store. Like we don't mean bloody, I mean like genuine bloody. Like there's like, okay, that doesn't look good, right? That I took a picture of it to send my wife. I'm not going to show you. It's gross, right? That does not look good. And I need to go, right? So I call my wife and I take a picture of it. She sent it to the vet, and she goes to so she went at 3:00 to the vet. Apparently she's fine, right? We thought at one point she ate some rat poison that was put out. Okay, another long story, right? Which I'm going to cut down really quickly. This story is really crazy, okay? Now, I've explained to you the downstairs of my house. Upstairs, we got 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, right? On one side, it's I have 2 boys, so it's my 2 boys' rooms. The other side, it's the 2 girls. And in the middle, they have the girls' bathroom and the boys' bathroom, which they share, right? So the girls' bathroom, last time they were there, one of the girls flushed and whoosh, water went everywhere, right? I was like, well, what's going on? So we got the plumber in. Really great plumber, by the way. And he's like, wow, so it looks like something ate a hole in the pipe, right? In the U-bend. I was like, oh, that's crazy. So he replaced the U-bend, right? And it was like, I think he got a mouse or a rat or something. So he put down poison everywhere, which is the poison I thought the dog ate, which made her have the bloody, whatever, discharge, whatever it may be. I think it was a poo. Anyway, so then he gets it fixed. Next day, my daughter comes, use the bathroom, whoosh, water everywhere again. Like the mouse had come back, and we didn't put the poison out yet. The mouse had come back and eaten the way through the U-bend again. Again. I was like, so the plumber came back, put poison down, left mouse traps out, and we found it, right? Dead mouse, it's dead, right? It's been repaired, but my daughter's too scared to go into the bathroom. That's it. Yeah, she's in her mid-20s. Anyway, how do I get onto that? Talk about the dog, bloody stool. So it was a stressful morning. It's what I'm trying to tell you, ladies. It was a stress. And then, okay, this is the roller coaster of being at my stage of life and Super Jewy, right? This is really the roller coaster involved. So we thought this weekend, Sabbath, right? We're just going to have a nice, quiet Sabbath. Me and my wife. Oh, fantastic! We it's just like low key. Nothing happens. Everything's chill, right? We have like more chill food. My wife doesn't cook so much. It's just really nice, right? So then yesterday, my wife tells me, not only is my son and his daughter-in-law coming, the older one, but also my daughter-in-law's father and a girlfriend. Okay, so this could be tricky, right? Because his girlfriend is geeky, and she's like a geeky journalist, and she knows me. Like, she's seen the channel. And I remember, I took the piss out my daughter-in-law's mother because it's just shocking. She's got, if you've never heard me explain it, it's very strange. She's got a very, very, very sexy French voice, right? The mother-in-law said, "Ooh, and you're expecting, what's the really hot bunny in Bugs Bunny? I can't remember. We were expecting Jessica Rabbit. Okay, that's what you expect. You're expecting Jessica. All that stuff's going on, and then you see her, and she looks like a normal person, like that, right? And you're like, "Oh, fuck me! What happened? Where the hot French woman go? Did you eat her? Where is she?" So anyway, I just think those gags will be really bad if they get back. But anyway, so then they're all coming, right? Okay. So then, on top of everything, and then I had to leave for synagogue. I forgot that. I had to leave for synagogue because I was late. When I get done, came out, and without cleaning up the blood or whatever, so I did all that when I came home. Anyway, but then I had to strip the bed down here, which is where the guest room is, to wash the sheets and do all that stuff. Get everything ready, and then my wife says, guess what? They're not coming. It's just us again. I'm like, what the? We had a whole different plan done. Oh, man. It's not easy being me. It's not easy being... it was really not easy. It's not easy being the United States of America. United States of America. They beg for normalcy. I would say far more so than England over the last few years. And they begged and they begged. That's why that's incredibly why they voted in Donald Trump. They're like, we're done with the batshit crazy. Can we be done with the batshit crazy, please? Can we be done with all the crazy women in men in women's spaces, for example. I mean, no, Trump comes in and signs a bunch of executive orders, and now basically you got all these judges. I would say there is a civil war going on in three levels, right? You have a judicial civil war where you have these judges are making the most insane rulings humanly possible to block anything Trump wants to do. Right, and then you've got the kinetic civil war and it's just the left versus the right, right? They are like bombing all Teslas and Tesla stores, and the weird thing is it's funded, it's weirdly not organized. It's more like the ice bucket challenge, right? That's how this, and it really is genuinely terrorism. If you got a Tesla, someone's going to key your car, right? There used to be a cool thing to have, anyway. And then you got the media civil war where the media just keeps going, oh, how evil Donald Trump is, right? And how great it is to be against Donald Trump, right? So here, Josh, let me just show you a smattering, right? A smattering of the crazy. Because there's so much bloody crazy. So, this one's crazy, right? Biden appointed judge blocks Trump's trans-military ban, says it's demeaning, and quotes Hamilton. I mean, firstly, look at her, right? Of course. So she came up with the opinion that there is no one can ever be blocked from joining the military, regardless of whatever mental illness they have, and their mental illness must be affirmed. That means if they're a paranoid schizophrenic, you must let them be in the army and let them be heavily armed, right? Who is this? The Trump administration's Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said the following, that trans troops are to serve conflict with soldier commitments to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, even in one's personal life. Well, I hate to say that, but yeah, it is true. It's honorable, I won't go into it. I don't think it's particularly honorable, right? Truthful, it's not. Disciplined, it's not. It's the opposite of disciplined, right? They argue that the life of a trans person is that person is a sex they are not, and medical requirements pose hindrance to their military readiness. I mean, I think that sounds very fair and real. I mean, doesn't it? I mean, again, if you're experiencing a delusion that you're not who you are, you may not want to give that person heavy weaponry. However, Ray's question was about the nature of the statement, not the truthfulness. Wait. In the ruling, Ray take it as a quote some courtroom conversation. The court asked, is saying that a transgender person or people with gender dysphoria, that their inherent identity is inconsistent with a commitment to an honorable, truthful, and disciplined lifestyle, is that demeaning to them? I don't know. How would you qualify demeaning? I mean, you have to have a whole conversation what demeaning is. I mean, is it truthful? Yeah. Would that negate it being demeaning? I don't know. That's identical, but who cares, right? I don't have a characterization for that, Your Honor. So the question is characterization in the states about the Trump administration in defense of the ban, as opposed to the truth or the falsehood of the statement. It appears to be Reason's view that that the demeaning characterization of the statements invalidate the statements themselves. Yeah, I mean, because it gave hurty feelings, right? It's crazy. So anyway, so essentially, right, they're ruling that if you are, batshit, literally insane, like psychopathically and psychopathically insane, you cannot be barred from joining the military. in that case, right? It's like it's open to all, and it means all. But yeah, look, again, this is a civil war. We basically have Trump and people, right? Normal people, not college educated women. I mean, my God, there's never been an argument to remove votes and the voting rights and rights in general from college educated women. Oh my God, they're like, here, let's see if I can find that clip. Hang on. Oh, I remember. I saw it on Luke. What's his name? Luke Rudkowski, I think. Yes, that's him. Where is it? I hope I find it now. Right? Oh, was that the other thing I found there? I don't know. Now, CNN was going through the demographic, and Trump is doing great, apart from one group, that which is why his ratings are so low, which is college-educated women. Oh my God. Educated women. Okay, it wasn't on Luke Rudkowski's thing. I saw it somewhere else. Is this it? No. Oh, that's a shame. I should have grabbed it when I saw it. And do I fit anywhere here? No. Trump. This we could do. Trump approval. Let's see if it comes out there. Because he's still above water, amazingly, right? Yeah, it's still doing. So even with this massive drag factor of this massive drag factor of the what's it called again, of college educated women, like literally they're at every other demographic has Trump up 2, Trump up 6, non-educated men is up like 30, is that like 14, and again it's college educated women are the ones that like come out against Trump. I'm like, again, should women be banned from colleges, or just be college educated women? Should they just be banned from being part of the electoral system? Because clearly they're all out their bloody minds, right? They're all wrong. I'm finding another clip. I can't find it. That's a shame. Never mind. It's amazingly though, again, he still has pretty much overwhelming support. But again, you got like these absolute batshit crazy judges. So you got this one. You had another judge who ordered women with penises, i.e., men, to be returned to female prisons. You had the most insane one is this one over here. This bloke. Post-millennial. I mean, I guess it's buggy because it has to have so much cyber security because it's constantly getting hacked. So Trump calls impeachment of Obama-era judge who demanded planes of gang members headed for El Salvador be stopped. Yeah. So these military flights, I think they're El Salvadoran military flights, were over international borders, and this judge orders that these gang members, the planes get turned around, these gang members get brought back home, brought back to America. So essentially, this judge is saying that he has power over the president in international relations, which is what this was, right? You know, this is an international diplomatic negotiation, which this judge just said, no, you can't do that. I'm like, well, and there's another one where, what was it? There was another real batshit crazy one. Which one was it? There was another transgendered one, I think. Yeah, what was it? That's the one about the Tesla attack team. I say judge, because I just want to show you the picture of the judge, who looks like, this person is somebody who you shouldn't ever have any power over anybody. Yeah, look at this one. Again, batshit crazy. Look at this guy. So Judge demand U.S. AID workers being reinstated after Dodge cuts. Right, the 68-page decision indicates that Musk likely violated the Constitution when dismantling congressional approval, the congressional approval agency. I don't think he did that. I think you'll find that Trump did that. He just recommended to do that. Elon Musk agent swooped in early on the Trump administration and eliminated USAID for good reason. Anyway, so yeah, so here's what I think. Here's the question: when is at what point will Trump just say no? Right? At what point will he go? Like I think it's a trap to get him to do that. Quite frankly, at what point will they just say? We're not going to turn the flights around. We're not going to stop doing the will of the people because a bonkers, batshit crazy judge, which this picture clearly says he is. And like again, no. Like when's he just going to say no to and say okay, go ahead and enforce it? Right? If you have enforcement powers, that's fine. See, that's why the Supreme Court is very wary to get involved in anything. Because they really have no enforcement powers. Well, it's probably like setting up Trump for an impeachment trap after the midterms. I mean, but again, look, being like a bonkers religious person, I think that Trump's gonna come out Teflon, right? I really do, right? I really absolutely do. So anyway, what do we have to look? So again, and I think the most kinetic form of this civil war going on, again, it's a judiciary, it's an out-of-control judiciary, and then we have like real kinetic terrorism in the form of, I think this shows it very real kinetic terrorism in the form of all these attacks on Teslas, right? And the and also the media cheering it on, right? Take a look at this.
Taking to the streets or the parking lots.
Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Tesla.
You're like, yay! Yeah, it's like
and Cybertrucks.
This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. It's the latest in more than a dozen instances of arson and vandalism targeting Tesla.
The same suspect shot more Teslas with a gun. Tesla Cybertrucks were set on fire in Kansas City, and earlier this month,
so, like, if you just have a Tesla, it could be keyed, have feces put on it, set on fire by the crazy, violent, radical left, which is basically all they really have. I think so. I think it's actually a reasonably good sign, right? I think it's a reasonably good sign that this is really all they got. Now, what's going to happen with all these judicial blocks? I don't know. Here's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see them Trump deal with it the same way the Democrats would do it, which is these judges are raided at dawn by a swarm of FBI agents. They're perp-walked in their underwear and filmed for TV, and then kept in solitary confinement for 3 days as they forensically go over everything that you own and every record that you have and go essentially fishing, right? I'm sure you'll find something, right? I'm sure you'll find something. And, how hard can it be to get a warrant and say, look, this guy's really trying to protect these Trente and Agra gang members. Do you think they're paying him off, right? Could well be. And yeah, you get Jimmy Kimmel and basically all of them. They're all cheering on this like bonkers, insane violence, right? And you can see by the fact they're burning Teslas down, they never cared about the environment at all. Jimmy Kimmel roasts Elon Musk for claiming Teslas are being destroyed due to mental illness. You did one, maybe two Nazi salutes. Again, you just say a lie often enough and it becomes reality to them, right? He did that. Never, ever, 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 ever happened. And Jimmy, look at that smug look on his face. Oh, God, no one's going to weep for you, baby, when that smug look gets wiped off. And I think that's what's coming, right? Because Trump is essentially a wartime president at this point. And I think they're laying their groundwork very carefully. I think we saw some of the groundwork that's being laid, which is, again, why they're freaking out so hard over here.
Was begging the question that I think a lot of journalists in this room should be asking about whether or not the former president of the United States, who I think we can all finally agree was cognitively impaired. I know it took people some time to finally admit that, but
it took the presidential debate, I think.
We all know that to be true, as evidenced by his disastrous debate performance against President Trump during the campaign. I digress on that. But the president was raising the point that, did the president even know about these pardons? Was his illegal signature used with...
So these pardons for most of Biden's family, for Anthony Fauci, for the J6 committee. I really think something might come with this.
Without his consent or knowledge. And that's not just the president or me raising those questions, Caitlin. According to the New York Post, there are Biden officials from the previous White House who raised those questions.
Now, why it's different with a presidential pardon is because the only person with that ability is the president, right? There's the only person with the presidential pardonability. So therefore, he cannot hand over to any other body the responsibility of affixing his signature, which is what he did with, I mean, if he even knew about them, because he was out the country when these things were signed, right? They weren't signed by an e-pen. They were signed by literally a machine. You put a pen in and it does, like, you know, it mimics a signature. It's, so yeah, these pardons are probably going to do better. But again, you know, Abraham Lincoln, he suspended habeas corpus, which is like, you know, rights and rights under the law, right? That's basically, you know, the cornerstone of rights under the law, because he was in the middle of the war. I think we're going to get someone like that. But, you know, the thing is, Trump, I think, understands that they giving them any excuse will be bad for him, right? Again, because I think he's in a war. So I'm intrigued to know what the next part of their plan is. But again, I think they're drawing their plans up very solidly. But I would like, you know, we're seeing the Empire Strike Back somewhat in a minute right now. But I would definitely like to see some pushback against it. Anyway, let's see what else it goes.
And wondered if the president was even consulted about his legally binding signature being signed onto documents. And so I think it's a question that everybody in this room should be looking into, because certainly that would propose perhaps criminal or illegal behavior if staff members were signing the president of the United States autograph without his consent.
And I think really they need to prove that he did sign it with his knowledge.
Record talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden White House.
Is there any evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out.
Yeah, the last thing she wants to do is find out. That's really the last thing she wants to do is find out. Meanwhile, right, these Tesla attacks. Yeah, again, you got, like, who was it? Tim Walz, who was the last who was Kamala Harris to be as her VP, but thank God didn't win. He was like saying, "Oh, I'm so happy to see Tesla stock dropping." Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank.
Car on fire, you should go to jail. You're a criminal.
Any car,
I don't think we have to talk about it in any other context. And all those cars have cameras in them, and those dealerships have cameras.
You know, I saw a meme of a guy with a MAGA hat saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to boycott Bud Light. I'm going to boycott Target. Right? I'm going to boycott this." And then you see somebody say, "Well, I'm going to boycott Tesla." And the guy in the MAGA hat goes, "No! You boycott as much as you like, right? That's fantastic. That's your bad." Domestic terrorism is what you shouldn't be doing. Wiping your feces randomly on people who own Teslas is what you shouldn't be doing. Setting fire to them. And 3 out of 4 people who have been charged so far are transgender. I mean, like, it's an incredibly high rate of bonkers in that world that they want to force into the military.
You're beyond being stupid when you do that. You're going to go to jail, and you now have a government that just got their mandate. They can't wait to find idiots that do this. You're going to spend 5 to 20 years in prison. If they get them on terrorism, which I think is a stretch, They will have no parole.
I think they will.
No shortened sentence. They'll rot in hell in prison for 20 years. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Breaking in, shooting a car, setting on fire, nothing to do with the politics, nothing to do with Tesla. You are a criminal, and you should go
What about the broader
to
question
jail.
about the protest factor? I mean, you heard
What
Tim Walz.
protest?
What protest factor in your blatant terrorism?
I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I mean, that's their investment fund. What a bozo.
Look, Tim Walz is a complete moron to me. I have to be very honest, and I'm not surprised why the American people did not choose him. Nothing against the vice president.
I know there's a lot of reasons they didn't choose him. And now came out that these attacks may well be funded. Laura Lube, this came out in the last hour, right? So it's pretty breaking.
Legal letter from a lawyer who's representing the Hopewell Fund and the 1630 Fund telling me that I needed to delete my reports or they were going to sue me.
Right. They demanded...
These are both George Soros funded extreme liberal organizations, NGOs.
Retraction. And let me ask you, did you issue a retraction?
No, I'm actually about to. I just got off the phone with my lawyer 2 minutes before coming on the show with you. And we're sending a reply back to the lawyer. And we're not going to be retracting. In fact, we're demanding that they open up their financial records and show us the evidence that the funds have been completely dissolved. They're claiming that the money was already spent. The
money that they probably are paying people to set fire to Teslas.
$500,000 that they donated. And then I was able to uncover another $950,000 that they donated to the Sunrise Movement. And so we're demanding that they show us financial evidence that proves that all of those funds that they dispersed were completely dissolved before I issue any type of clarification. Because look, this is an intimidation tactic. Obviously, I'm over the target because, these are the most well-funded leftist slush funds that are used by Soros and the radical left. The lawyer who they sent after me actually represents Hunter Biden as well.
I'll tell you, that's a good pedigree.
Think that it's a coincidence that I'm getting this letter literally 2 days after my exclusive report from South Africa caused President Trump to revoke Hunter Biden's Secret Service detail. Also, this lawyer...
Oh, yeah. Hunter Biden had 13 people in the Secret Service. That seems a lot. But you know what? He's a billionaire. Let him pay for his own bloody Secret Service.
Represented Fusion GPS, which we know was the firm behind the Salacious Steele dossier, which led to the Russia collusion hoax. And so I'm one of President Trump's biggest advocates and fighters, and they're sending their lawfare operatives after me to silence me in my independent journalism.
Yeah, and that's really the problem. That journalism is, for the first time in decades, independent again, right? Journalism is free as opposed to being like corporate trash, which I think, generally speaking, is a good thing, right? I think it's a very good thing. Right? More of that, the better. Quite frankly, that's what I would say. Anyway, there's anything else which you get to? No, let's get to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's something we got to talk about. Yeah, one second. Here, let's go over here. Doink. Oh, what a wonderful thumbnail! What a wonderful thumbnail on a reasonably cold day. It's such a bummer though. The weather's turned to shite. You thump. Oh, Nicola, the sun will come out. Yes. So this AI was not easy to come by. Here is the original artwork. And man, I should just be putting these on my Substack for people. Like maybe do this with a calendar. Be awesome, right? Spring is in the air, baby. But this was a second take. The first take, it just didn't work quite well enough, I think. I don't think it doesn't look like Nicola Bryant to me, right? This looks like Nicola Bryant. I mean, this is how I envisioned her mostly. But this looks like Nicola Bryant to me. This not so much, but still not bad. Anyway, but I went for this So we can make this. Anyway, spring is in the air, baby. Spring solstice spectacular. You know what that means? Absolutely fucking nothing. I just put it on there because my original plan, by the way, was to try and do Lala Ward with slightly larger boobs than in real life, wearing like druidy robes draped over her, like showing a bit of cleavage by Stonehenge. That was the original plan. It ended up morphing into this. I don't think there's much to complain about, quite frankly. Classic Doctor Who director Warris Hussein says we just need queer, and more queer. Got to get to that today. New Doctor Who magazine comes out a week today. Got to get to that today. Also, there's a few other interesting things. Rachel Zegler is just a disaster. Yes. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. Ugh. Yeah, I think that's a fair way of describing it. Anyway, let us get to the chat, ladies and gentlemen, by Jiggery. Darren Evans, how you doing, Darren? Thank you for joining us. As the Sound Rangers, I'm first in line for Rachel Zegler and the creepy doors. Oh, yeah, we got we're Lula sitting right now. My daughter, my younger daughter, she's went to see Snow White with some friends, but for some reason her little dog Lola, who's so cute, who is so incredibly cute, but so much like just so much work. Oh my god, this dog is an attention whore. Like you would like my daughter, essentially. It's the same person. I'm looking forward to a first-hand review. At Rabbi says, can you read this loud? I am Sofa King. Awesome. As I am. I can't argue with me when I'm so right. Lonnie is here. How you doing, Lonnie? Great to be seeing you. Lonnie, if you ever want good smoked meat, then that's not code. Lonnie's the person to ask, right? I closed down the post-millennial windows and everything's working much better now. There you go. Someone says, you know what, the other day was watching something on the telly, where my mum, it was the Corby drama or something, I guess, who had to show her bloody face when was the real actress. I have no idea what that is, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Jodie Whittaker, peas at the Rabbi's house. Well, if you want, I wouldn't say no. I mean, like, Jodie, I think you're awful at Doctor Who, but if you need to pee, darling, yeah, you can use my toilet. We're not going to be vindictive about it. Maybe we could do an interview afterwards, because that would be awesome. Jodie Whittaker, probably the woman who is safest for me in the world, right? I can't even imagine. The thought of having any kind of like sexual contact with Jodie Whittaker literally repulses me, right? Mark Lazar says, is Starfleet Academy still having? Fuck me, yes. Oy vey. Why? Oh, because evil hasn't been subjugated yet. Right, we got to pray for the death of the Satan, and then these evil things will go away. We really do. And even if an atheist, you pray for that, I think we might be in good stead. We're trying to say Jodie Whittaker is a public menace, which is she was the only thing that was missing from the Phantom Menace as well. I really can't wait for the Rabbi decides to read comments. I really, mate. Rabbi, I'm sorry you got Jessica Rabbi. Lola Bunny, you're absolutely right, Soda Engines. You're absolutely, well, I was going to say, yeah, she's like Lola Bunny, but also like Jessica Rabbit. She's got that vibe, right? Kurtzman did kill Star Trek. I'm not sure, right? Again, I'm not sure. Oh, hello, Whitey. How you doing, darling? Yeah, no, stay in, darling. I know Lola's here, but you're okay. Come in. There you go. You see, it's wet and outside. You don't want to go out now. Trust me. She does like going. Doesn't like Lola being in the house. She's a bit freaked out about. But never mind. What here? It's my cat, Whitey. Kurtzman in Star Trek is like, yeah, but I think Star Trek could really be easily resurrected. All you need is good Star Trek, right? Again. Mandalorian proves that. We had shit Star Wars, the worst Star Wars ever, followed by even worse Star Wars, and then Mandalorian came along and we were like, fuck me, this is good, right? It's all you need is good Star Trek, right? And they should be on what as widely available as humanly possible, right? I mean, honestly, I wish that Elon Musk would buy Paramount, so you would have a streaming service built into X, and you'd have all of Star Trek, right? And again, I think including all the fan films into it on the platform, that would really be an incredible addition to X, right? That you, if you had that streaming service, and then with the new app, for watching it, you can watch all the stuff that people broadcast through X as well. I think, honestly, it will be, and it'll have all the Mission Impossible stuff. You could have all that IP. That would make X such a home run. But I just think good Star Trek would do it, right? Good Star Trek would do it. Extra eye there. Oh, I don't know what the extra eye did. You're right. It is ironic that he said it's dying when he's the one who killed it. Well, he would know, right? Lonnie very cleverly writes some boobies in the chat, and then I'm quite impressed with that, right? I'm quite impressed. But then again, Dengar Buckler's Earth, and he does better boobies, right? Why do you trust me? It's icky. You're staying in now, darling. You're staying in for the night. No, it's okay. And Lola's going to be gone in about 2 hours, right? You can just hang out down here. You're cool, baby. You're cool, right? Well done, Mark Lazarus. We've got a trend going. That should be. I should demand that to be on my tombstone. My kids wouldn't really go for it, I think. Did you see the story about the guy who tried to Molotov cocktail Tesla and set himself on fire and said, no, but I'm hardly surprised, right? They're not really they're not really recruiting from the highest end of the the food chain. Do you have Dot's pretzels in Israel? No. Hot mustard flavor also. Are they even kosher? Let's look into Dot's pretzels. Okay, 1 second. Dot's pretzels. Okay. Are they kosher? Okay, 1 second. Let's share the screen. Okay, wait. We need to find out more. I did the wrong thing. No, why you stay here now, Dot? Trust me, you don't want to go out there. Dot's home-style pretzels. Now, here's the question. Are they kosher? I'm going to say no. Because if something's kosher, it's got a little kosher sign on it normally. Let's see, the back. No kosher sign. Here, I want to see. OU kosher sign. Yeah. This is, I mean, look, okay, these are all different symbols of kosher organizations. The OU is the best known. Then the OK, Chav K, that's the Hasidic one, the Lubavitch one. There's all kind of different ones, right? But they need to look at. So yeah, they may be great, but the good Lord has closed off that avenue of pleasure for me, my good man. So sucks to be me. Let me tell you. Let me console myself with gratuitous AI Nicola Bryant. Oh, that's doing the trick. That is doing the trick. She cried. So hot mustard flavor. They have it also. I'm sure it is. Listen, mate. Look. Every time you eat a bit of non-kosher food, you should just praise the Lord. Let me tell you, it's so good. Bacon is so good. Now, no, I'm not opening the window for you. I'm doing you a favor. Trust me on this one. Oh, she's making me go out. No. Why do you know? It's a bad idea. And trust me, Lola's going to be gone in an hour and a half, right? 2 hours max. And then you'll be able to breathe again. What am I up to? If you have bacon, oh God, just thank God, especially a Christian. I mean, like if you're a religious Christian, that should really give you, a great strength in prayer, right? That oh, thank God, you've given me bacon for my eating pleasure. Okay, so now I'm standing up and Whitey is on my chair instead. I'm just petting her. I know, you're scared. You don't like the doggy in the house. He's okay though. And don't do that. I'm still not letting you out. Okay. Where am I up to? Trump's have tricked the Dems in saying, bring the criminal. He's tricked the Dems and these judges in saying every fucking batshit crazy thing you could possibly say. Send men into women's prisons. Let's have co-ed prisons. It's going to work out fine. Everyone's going to be happy. No. It's a bad idea. Like, literally, they're against anything sane. Amro's here. Obama speech writers are running some violent advisory groups. Yeah, I'm sure. And they're being paid well for it. Talking illegal behavior, today the governor of the prison where Tommy Robinson is cut the phone call to his lawyer in court. What? The judge was furious. The governor's, she committed perversion of justice. Yeah, but I mean, there is no justice in England. England is just like fuck beyond fucked. And I'm like, I saw Carol Vorderman is a new was a candidate for reform. Isn't she super woke? She's the one from Countdown, right? She's like insanely woke. Carol Vorderman. Woke? Is she woke? Karen calls us the woke. Yeah, she's super woke. And now she's with Reform. Oh, Nigel, mate. Oh. Yeah, I guess she's mad at Labour. Hang on, what's it? Let me look at Carol Reform. Maybe that was a joke. Here, one sec. We'll search by. I'm searching up news stories. Low is out to cause damage. Reform row rumbles on. Yeah, that Reform row is very very damaging, right? It's very damaging to Reform. I think it's a big black eye for Nigel Farage. That might have been a joke. That might have been like a Babylon Bee joke. What's this? Man says far frame. I can't click the link. Stupid. Seen it a couple of times at next, admittedly. I haven't fact checked it, but there are community notes or similar. I like community notes. Just started reading a research paper by a name I haven't seen before. Etzem Rabbi. I wonder what this is. I've never heard that before. Etzem? I mean, that sounds like a bad spelling of an Hebrew name. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, though. I don't know. Which AI engine are you using now? Still OpenArt. OpenArt's Lalables, bigger boobs, Druid Rose, much and pretty. I know, but it's like the rows were too close. Here, I'll show you how it came out. It wasn't that great. There we go. OpenArt. And you'll see the progression. 1 second. I think some of them I can't show. I think this was the best one. I quite like that one. Right. But it just wasn't coming out great. And then these ones had a bit too much nippage going on. That one would have worked, I guess. But it's still see here. The rope needs to be open much more, right? So there you go. Okay, I'm not letting you out. So then I thought Nicola Bryant, in a flower bed, right? And they just did in a bed, right? Well, that was pre face swapped, obviously. And then we tried the lingerie one. Again, so that's the first one we went with. But eventually, what was the last one we went? Yeah, was it this? No, this is the one. Yeah, there we go. And then we face swapped her to Nicola Bryant. So there you go. The etymology of using high technology to be a pervert. Come here, down. You're okay. You're okay. I know. Just chill out, honey. I tell you, I have the same conversation with my wife. Jonathan Cox is here. How you doing, Jonathan Cox? Why it's hard to concentrate with you meowing at me. Mark the Vickers in. No kosher sign on my bottle of water. Oh, you're probably okay with that. And are bacon bits kosher in it? Yes, they are. Here, let me see. Let me see if I can find bacon bits. And they have the kosher symbol on them. Right, not pork scratching, bacon bits. Bits. Let me see. Oh yeah, let me find a picture of the package. Ha! Hang on. Is this? Where'd it go? No, I want a picture of the bacon bits. Copy image address. Let's try that. There we go. That should do it. Fine. Over here. So, Nicola, we'll be right back. So, you see, yeah, bacon bits. It's got the OU sign. That's Orthodox Union. Oh, we love bacon bits. Bacon bits are awesome, right? Bacon is awesome. Never think bacon is anything less than absolutely freaking awesome, because bacon is absolutely awesome, right? Everything is awesome as long as it's bacon. Where are we up to? Here, hang on, doink. Bacon was okay until the Torah book Leviticus. Every time people did big bad stuff, God took away another place. No, that's not how it happened at all. No, it's bacon was always forbidden because essentially it's like this. For an animal to be kosher, it's got to be a peaceful animal. And pigs are way too intelligent to be peaceful. The more intelligent you are, the more warlike you become. Reform's loss will become UKIP's gain. I think Reform's loss will be Labour's gain, frankly. Right, you got me derailed, or what? I can't remember. Bacon bits. Well, yeah, that's not good. Don't like pork scratching. Oh man, I love pork scratchings. I miss pork scratchings desperately. I really do. They were the best. Oh, I mean, they probably still are, but they certainly were the best, right? They certainly were fantastic. Okay, first story I want to start with tonight is I have no idea what this is about, right? I am absolutely not. Maybe if I try and find Nicola Bryant's Twitter, I can find out what's going on with this. Nicola Bryant. Okay, yeah, it's certainly her Twitter. She's mad about something. Something about the BBC. Lots about animal cruelty, and I agree with her. Oh man, like I absolutely hate any form of animal cruelty. Right? And she got lots of lovely pictures of doggies. Okay, you know what? I'll show the pictures of doggies. And yeah, I don't understand anyone who is so evil, right? So evil they could be cruel to a dog. Right, one of the most loving creatures the world's ever seen. Right, in my mind, they were created by God to be loving to you. Right, like to be companions, and they are. They're wonderful. You know what it is. Split hoof animals are not kosher. Yes, but the pigs don't have split hoofs. Right. There's also how they chew the cud. Yeah, dyke. Almar is a great skit about bacon, says Colin Arch. There you go, fine. I'm trying to find where that post was from. Like, but again, cute doggies. I love doggies. Again, you know, anyone who lacks power enough to abuse something they're inherently stronger than, always stronger than, is such a worthless, evil person. When did she post this thing about the BBC? Something about David. Well, it doesn't look like it was recent. I mean, maybe it's over here. We'll go to tweets and replies. Women's Day, well, good. Because women don't get enough. Don't get enough rights. I don't want to say it. This is awful news. I've worked with Bill all my life. He was a colleague and a friend. So I must have passed away. Sorry to hear that. Again, I very much agree with her on her stance to protect animals. But I would just wish I knew what that bloody post was about. Is this it? That video, are you doing it in the UK? I've no... Yeah, what video? What are you talking about? About chemicals in food. No. How about... I do a search here. One second. BBC. Oh, where is that? No. Okay, lots of things about sad-looking dogs. And again, I like dogs, but I have no idea what she's talking about here. Fine, let's go back to this thing, see if I can find it. Maybe it's from my Instagram. Hang on, share screen. Now I've got a little whizzy wheel. Don't want a whizzy wheel. When was it? So is this the Nicola Bryant? Is this? But when was this from? Oh. I am completely appalled by this utter nonsense. These vicious lies. The way to promote a new series is not to dish on the discipline. So Peter Capaldi was and is very much loved as an actor, a human being, and as a doctor. However, BBC, you are a disgrace. Go to your room. Grow up. What is this about? I have no idea. Here, one sec. I got an idea. I'm going to do a search for the Nicola Bryant, at the Nicola Bryant, and right, I am completely appalled. Let's see if that comes up. If I can, we'll do a search for. I am completely appalled by this. Let's see. I'll do a search, like a Google search, and see if anything comes up. Hang on. At the Nicola Bryant. No. Oh, okay. Well, it's from 6 years ago. Oh my god. Oh my, no, 7 years. Holy shit. This is why it's worth doing a bit of research. Right? I was like, what on earth are they talking about? No, that's a nothing burger. Do you remember when they're all excited about Jodie Whittaker and how she was going to be the best thing ever? Fantastic news to any new doctor. And what a great way to refresh the franchise, especially 4 years, Peter Capaldi, who certainly wasn't universally loved. Well, good for you, Nicola. I just 7 years too late. For me, I do apologize. Fine. Let's look at this article, which I've been wanting to look at for quite some time. So, apparently it's Pride Month again. It seems like every month is Pride Month, right? All the time. Lots of pride. Okay. Absolutely. Rossi Davis is 100% wrong that the problem that the gay world's having is the problem the gay world's having is the TQIA world. And it's not a lack of exposure, it's an overexposure. So the BBC had a secret covenant case. It wasn't secret. Original director Warris Hussein opened up to Benjamin Cook. Yeah, okay. About the love, pride, hate, and fear, and wild imagination of the unearthly child. And again, Benjamin Cook has edited 2 of these cut down Doctor Who so far, and I would say done a universally bad job with both of them. Right, the colorization on War Games was fantastic, but the edit was awful. However, you got Pete McTeague, right, who is an expert editor. Right, his edits of Inferno and the Silurians are excellent, as are Silver Nemesis. He makes that piece of shit into something watchable, and I am convinced that Rusty Davis getting Ben Cook that job is like getting your boyfriend a job, right? I've always found myself slightly outside looking in, considers Warris Hussein. That's not I feel sorry for myself, but my entire life is spent trying to get from one side to... Well, look, Warris, in all fairness, right? You are a Muslim in the and you were like in the 1960s, where there was far fewer Muslims in England, and you're a gay Muslim, which means you couldn't live in a Muslim country, right? I mean, not Muslim, of Muslim descent, I should say. So I can understand why you will feel like an outside looking in. However, I think a cardinal mistake the queer world has made is they believe they are the only outsiders looking in, right? There's no other... everybody's an outsider looking in. That's why people like Doctor Who, essentially. You know, if you look at the world a different way, or if you're smarter than most, you'll like Doctor Who. Nothing to do about being gay. If you're like gay, you'll probably like Doctor Who as well. In many ways, he was a perfect fit for Doctor Who then, a show that's always resonated with outsiders. That's true. It was made by them, especially in the beginning. I think I think that's a very true comment, right? I think that's why Doctor Who is so popular, because it is made by outsiders, and most people are outsiders, right? Oh no, I would say most people are, of the herd. But, like, a lot of people are outsiders, right? Who don't want to be part of the herd. Sidney Newman, the Canadian son of a Jewish restaurant immigrant, blah, blah, blah. Variety Lambert, blah, 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 blah. It's mid-January 2025. Southern California is burning over the past week. Devastating wildfires. It's called the Wrath of God. We're ready to evacuate. We haven't yet. We're not blah, 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 blah. He was just 24 when he directed the first 4 episodes of Doctor Who, or 5 including the pilot. Listen. It's something that I think that really has killed modern Doctor Who is the levels of management involved in it, and how everything got too precious and too slugged up, right? Used to be, you used to be able to make 13 episodes a year and do a spin-off series or 2, right? Now you make 8 episodes every 18 months, essentially. Why? What happened to production that made it? You have to shrink it down that way. Whatever you did, you got to reverse it. And I think there's too much management there, which I think is where most of the money is being wasted. A 24-year-old kid, and you can feel the energy in it, and you can feel him like thinking, this is a incredible opportunity, right? Man, the BBC is the opposite of what it used to be. Who the heck is this guy? Was the question going around the studios? Remembers Warris. I was very conscious of having to carve out my place and make my name. Listen, I'm sorry that coming up to how many? What were we up to? 25, 40, was it 60 or 70 years ago? There was much more bigotry and racism, and I admit that there was a lot of hateful bigotry and racism, but I think most of it, I really do, because I have a very good opinion of the British, right? And I think most of that racism is there's like a somewhat unease at difference, like, you're a different skin color, it's just like, well, and you also have a different culture, but I don't think it was like, I hate you, right? I don't know. In 1964, he directed 6 more episodes of Doctor Who and Marco Polo. Interesting aside, by the way, let me share this with you. This is coming out very soon, in a few days. This is the first completely AI reconstruction of a missing story, which is Marco Polo by Doctor Who in the computer pictures, I think. Again, it's not perfect, but it really, to me, it's one of the best things I've seen. I think I think I looked at this the other day, didn't I? I can't remember.
Must have been made by a giant.
So nearly there, right? It's and then they cut back the footage that they actually had, right? So it's so nearly there. By the way, so you can get this by being a member of his Patreon. Let me just find that for you. Hang on. Mid-Journey. Oh, it's quite bad being called Doctor in the Mid-Journey again. Thank God for that. Oh. Yeah, Patreon. Share screen. Oh, it just sort of a preview of it. Center devices. Searching Google Lens. No. When did he put this out? Oh, that's today. Maybe he's got anyway, so this is a reconstruction. Here, let me just take this off for a second. I'll see if I can work out the Patreon video download. Let's see if we can get that. Patreon video download 3. Okay, for free. What the 3 best method? I don't want to download a freaking thing. Here, I'll just try video downloader online. Let's see if that works. Video downloader online. Saveroom.net. That always takes forever, but let's see if it works, right? Let's see if it works. Resume video. Let's try this. Maybe it will. Who knows or dares to dream? It's thinking about it. It's certainly thinking about it. It's really quite impressive though if it does, because like I'm actually quite psyched for this. It says no, I don't want to subscribe. Download 8. No, I don't want that. Download. I think maybe if I is it gonna download for free? No, I don't want your software. I just want you to download it for me. Oh, the site's not supported. Annoying thing is somebody did send this to me, right? Maybe the site. Sorry, this site is not supported. Upgrade to unlock, I guess. Well, yeah, we'll just play it through here, I guess. Give me a second. Oh, is this my, I think this is just what I just looked at. Anyway, so this I think is a very exciting new what's the word I'm looking for? Innovation. It's coming. When's he dropping this? Hang on. So I presented the first few minutes of Doctor Who Ruth the World, aka what's that? Is this over here? I bet you that is on his Twitter feed. Illustrated with comfy. I don't understand any of this. Animation and fakes. But what date is he dropping it? Let's go over here. Patreon members will get tomorrow. That's today, I think. A warts and all cut of my Marco Polo scene. No, but I think he's dropping the whole thing relatively soon, right? Again, which I find this is where Doctor Who is exciting nowadays. In classic, not in current Who. New series coming. Does anybody care? You know what? I think if there's anybody cares, if there's anybody out there who cares, there's one man. There's one man who can put out his psychic feelers. and you could get arrested for that, and you'll certainly go blind. Put out his psychic feelers, right, to find somebody out there who is excited for the new season of Doctor Who. That one man can only be Dan Hadley, Birmingham's King of the Geeks.
All feelers are out, aroused, and erect. Hello.
And that's just
having fun. Ncuti Gatwa's been photographed out and about today, or was it yesterday?
Yeah, he's
wearing long trousers.
Not interested in Doctor Who.
Well, I think he must be unwell because he's in long trousers. And
oh yeah, well yeah, he's on the cover then. Oh, you got to give up. So anyway, I was just reading the Warris Hussein interview from Doctor Who magazine. Have you looked at that yet?
Well, I did. To be honest, I mean, I hate to say it, I won't say I'm a big fan of Warris Hussein. I've never met him, never seen a great deal of his other work outside of Doctor Who, but it's somebody I respect enormously. And they've got this massive interview with him, and from what I understand, Ben Cook's got hours to talk to this icon of British television, a genuine sort of innovator, and somebody who made that transition from small UK television to international film and television. And he seems to spend
broke into the entertainment industry in England in the early 60s, where it was like a old boys club, right? And he wasn't white, he wasn't straight, and he got in there on the dint of his own talent and what's the word? Ambition, right? And what does Ben Cook want to talk to him about? What things he likes to put
his cock
up bottom.
His cock and balls.
His cock and I mean, like, really, Ben, really. Like, I wish, and I'm going to say this about gay people. I'll say this about queer people. Why do they think we're all constantly fascinated with queerness? Like, oh, that's a bloke wearing a dress who's called chick. Why? Like, what do you think we're looking for? Oh, more drag queens. Can we have more of that? Oh a bit more. Why?
There's a degree. I think the people who are really into that, people like Russell T Davies. I don't know about Ben, but Russell, obviously, he doesn't hide his.
Ben is totally into that. I'm sorry.
His fascinations, but to them, it's the equivalent of seeing that scene where Nicola Bryant's in the bikini in Planet of Fire. To them, it's like that for them, and they can't stop banging on about it. If we keep banging on about that scene with Nicola Bryant in the bikini, people look at us strangely, and we're not allowed to.
Again, the thing is, I have stopped banging on about that. I mean, yeah, I do think about it every 24 seconds, but like I keep it to myself, right? And I wouldn't.
You wouldn't want that scene from Planet of Fire subliminally embedded into everything that's broadcast on British television.
I have to disagree. The scene I have embedded indelibly in my mind is the ending of The Two Doctors, episode 2, as Nicola Bryant runs down a Spanish hillside in hills, jiggling in slow motion. Or at least in the way I play it back, it is.
It's how she's looking down. She's looking down at her feet so she doesn't fall arse over tit.
Yeah.
And in doing so, it just makes the juddering more pronounced and effective.
More fantastic. I did a thing. Was it on Saturday, Sunday? Feel good Doctor Who. I said the ultimate feel good Doctor Who is having sex with Nicola Bryant while watching that scene in slow motion on a big screen TV. I mean that really is. That really is it to me. So I got about an hour and a half into your Tuesday stream, right? And I'm intrigued at your comment about this. See, because I had a different take on this, but you were not interested to bite on this, right?
Not at 45 quid. I'm not.
That's the price. So I didn't think the price was too outrageous. You get the sonic screwdriver and a figure. Sonic screwdriver, you got to be paying £25 or £25 for now. And
on the surface of it, coldly think, does it represent good value for money? I don't know. There's an argument that says perhaps that it does. But when they announced, for example, this on a Wednesday morning, and you've got about 8 hours to decide whether you're going to spend the best part of 50 quid or not on something, or it's gone forever, at a time of the month when all your bills might have gone out, that is the dilemma.
You're making a fair point there, but for me, the inclusion of the sonic screwdriver, I think, was a very good idea. Right? That if you're somebody who hasn't collected before and you're looking for and you don't have these things, like I don't have a Percy sonic screwdriver, so if it wasn't for shipping, I would have got that. I think.
I am a prime mark for a whole line of all 15 of these, and yeah, I mean, maybe okay.
All 15, get out of here!
God.
Really?
The thing is, if I'm gonna own 14 of them, and I probably would, then I'd probably need the. But I'm potentially a mark for an entire range of these, and but if they just throw it at you and say, it'll all be sold out by 3 o'clock, think, oh, fuck off. You know, market this stuff properly, cost it properly, put it out in a shop where I can fucking find it, ideally.
Yeah, but they can't
do
it at bulk price anymore. Doctor Who is not that interesting. It doesn't sell stuff. And who was it on your panel? They were so right when they said they expected it to do gangbusters. They were going to have like all these merchandise that never showed up, right? And I think they've been scrabbling ever since. I think they've been shocked ever since the merch sales and also the reception of the new. They're still in a state of shock. I think that's probably where
I'd be in the market. I'd be in the market for this line of merchandise, but not modelled and marketed and in this way. The price I would possibly move on if I had the luxury of time to be able to budget for it. Again, if they'd have said at Christmas, look, at the beginning of March, we're going to start a wave of these Vortex editions, Doctors and Screwdrivers. They're going to be priced at this point, and there'll be a limited number. I think, oh, okay, fair enough. It's up to you whether you budget for it or not. But when this is as much as one of the Blu-ray box sets.
That's very true. Yeah, and look, have you opened up your season 7 yet?
No.
Man, there's so much stuff to plow through. It's such a wonderful set, right? Although, man,
I spend more time talking about Doctor Who than I do watching it.
Sorry,
I spend more time talking about Doctor Who than I do watching it.
That's true. But they didn't do new effects on most of them. Ambassador Death really needed new effects, right? You're quite distracted by the original. And also, I realized it wasn't the cheapness of the dinosaur in the Silurians. It was the Godzilla anime kind of look they gave the dinosaur, which was just stupid. It looked more like it came out of Terrorhawks. It looked awful. So I'll miss it with that. But by the way,
there's a bunch of people, mate, who for them the Blu-ray sets as they currently are. They're interested in having the episodes looking better than they did before, but they don't buy those box sets, and they weigh it up based on a number of factors. Yeah. They'd like the stuff. They'd probably like the stuff on Blu-ray, and but they think, well, I don't want this. I don't need that, and that's kind of how I feel about this. Like, for example, they've coated the Pertwee figures cape now in something that gives it a sort of velvety look and feel.
Right,
I think, well,
right.
I could live with that. If that's going to be the difference of a tenner then I can live without.
No, exactly.
And also, rubbing it across my foreskin.
I'm looking around my room, my office right now, and I have at least 3 or 4 Pertwee figures. The new face sculpt is nice, but for me, it's not enough. Again, if it was at a more affordable price and without the shipping, the sonic screwdriver really sells it. But there, what can you do?
I can't think of many areas where they're marketing Doctor Who appropriately, correctly, effectively. The Blu-ray box sets are probably the only thing, and in that sense,
I think that's entirely Pete McTeague, right? I think he's the only one with real passion driving that range right now.
There's a set of between six and a dozen people who work at various corners of that make it all happen, and they all feel largely the same, but their talents lie in sort of different areas. Unfortunately, the stars sort of align to bring us those sets. But I like the fact that for people who don't want the limited edition chunky boxes, they don't mind waiting a little bit longer, and they can have the slimline ones without the massive booklet, and without that, and a little bit cheaper. It's a good 15, 20 quid cheaper.
I'm stupid because I do it the other way around. I buy the big chunky ones because I can't wait, and then I make my own covers and put them in the slim ones. I got the worst of both worlds, right? I'm paying more, but I get the booklet. The booklet's gorgeous, right? everything about. I love doing the unboxings. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Right? It's a great product.
I made a couple of unboxing videos of those, and people do like them. I'm a little mystified as to why people like them because they are exactly the same.
You're done so well, right? The boxing is done so incredibly well. So, did you see this story that due to unavoidable production delays, with sincere regret, the following audio production release have been rescheduled? So you got the second Doctor Adventure is one I'm irritated about. It's that they're a long way off now, right? I just think this doesn't sound like things are going well in Big Finish.
I can't remember Big Finish.
I don't know how they would be going well given their output right now, which is so. When's this due out now?
I can't say that. Obviously, Big Finish may have fucked up like this before, but this is certainly the first time that I can remember that they've ever fucked up to such an extent they've had to acknowledge it on a social media platform. So this must have been quite.
Acknowledging it. They're just saying production delays. They haven't acknowledged anything. Like this was originally scheduled for 2023, I think. It's like 2020. It was like I can't remember. What was the first one come out? And it was actually. I thought. Did you ever listen to this? I thought it was really good.
No, I didn't, and I did hear it was good. And didn't Nick Briggs write that during lockdown?
I'm not sure when he wrote it, but. Well, it came out in May 2020, so probably not. Right? He probably wrote it beforehand. But I just found it a really interesting bit of sci-fi, right? And it's like 2025 is the next one, 2026. Like, for goodness sake, why did you just say you're not doing it? But yeah, I just, and again, we doomsay Big Finish all the time, but like the quality of their product is just not what it used to be. I finished listening to the last Doctor release, and the one before I thought was excellent. The Quintessence. Did I tell you about that one?
Yeah, you did say it was good. The one with Joe Grant.
Really excellent. So I was like quite enthused, and then the next one was just a chore to get through. And so now I got the first episode, and I'm not committing to pay for it until I listen to the first episode of the song. But you can't really trust anything anymore.
No.
So yeah, I just don't see. And I see their release schedule really slowing down. Man, this OCAS thing is embarrassing. I might get this one because Stephen Noonan, right? Because I like Stephen Noonan and I like to support him. But
you guaranteed. Yeah, I think you're guaranteed a certain level of quality with Stephen's work. Well, I know you are, and with Tim Trelaw's work.
Generally speaking, I like. Although I felt the same way at Jonathan Curry. This new War Doctor set sounds boring as anything.
I played the trailer for this because I couldn't quite understand why they were going down this road with it. It's interesting. I noticed that Daisy Ashford's playing a new character in it too, and I thought pairing those two actors to hear what it sounds interesting enough, but what I don't see. I just don't get how it tracks.
I think they make some kind of like strange alternate reality thing where it's like where they're like the X-Files and they have to solve the mystery and it's one of those kind of things. But like, do you remember that War Doctor box set when it was in the Land of Fiction, Escape from Reality? It was called. That was probably one of the best they did. That was fantastic, right? But Big Finish just seem intent on like flushing away the things that are really working for them, right? Stephen Noonan and Lauren Cornelius. There's such a great Doctor companion lineup, right? They blew it away last time, and on all of them, right? They just need to lean into doing Doctor Who. And they just seem kind of bored with doing that right now.
You know what's not helping? Since they standardised the look of the ranges so that none of them, it's always the blue Doctor Who logo. There's no by words, so you can't see which range belongs to which anymore. Sometimes there's different styles of artwork. So now it's all like one mass. I think that they're
which is even worse a Big Finish. And like that's one of their biggest problems. Like anybody new going there, like, what the hell? I can't find anything at all.
See, before you could pick a line and think, okay, I'm going to collect all of this range. and I can stick with that, and I'll be doing this for 18 months, and I'll just pick away at these. That's how I did a lot of my listening. Where I always bought the main range, always. But I didn't get on board with the miniseries and stuff until they'd been going a little while. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll listen to all of Dalek Empire. So I think that took me about 18 months, maybe longer.
Dalek Empire was fabulous.
And that's how I did it.
Very good.
And each range had a different look, different logo, different, and I just felt like something special. Whereas now everything looks largely the same. And if you were coming to it new, or if you've just drifted away from it for a while, you think, I want to get back, I want to get stuck into that again. You just see this mass of covers that they've started to improve again the last year or so, but until recently, they're all a mass of floating heads, all the same logo. You don't know what belongs to what. I think maybe that's an edict from BBC marketing. I don't know. Everything has to look the same, but I think that honestly, it needs to be the case.
You're absolutely right. They should be delineating the ranges and visually, and they're not. Right, and which is a problem. It's only like a minute and a half. By the way, Daisy Ashford is by far the winner in the Escape Room Challenge, the third on the DVD box set.
Oh, right? She in that?
That's really one of my favorite features. That's over like an hour and 15 minutes long. Fabulous. You can't stop watching it. You got her, Katie Manning, and Liz Sladen's daughter. What's her name again? Sadie Miller.
Yeah, well, she came out the winner with me because when we interviewed her at Hooverville, she laughed at all my jokes, even if she didn't. I don't think she found them funny, but she laughed anyway. So yeah, thanks.
This was Daisy Ashford, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's totally. But you can see she is absolutely the most normal of the three of them, right? You could put her in normal society and everything would work. You couldn't do that with Katie Manning, obviously, but also with.
Katie Manning is larger than life. Yeah.
Well, good for her. Anyway, here, let me play this for a second.
Welcome to the Galactic Investigations Bureau. During your time at the GIB, you'll investigate serial killers, mobsters, and a sea's worth of dead fish.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The War Doctor Rises, Fallen Heroes.
Yes, we're the GIB agents. Wyatt Smith.
Oh, so it's like a Men in Black X-Files rip-off, sort of the parody, whatever. But here's the thing. We want to see the War Doctor being the War Doctor. We don't want to see the War Doctor not being the War Doctor, right? That's really the most important thing. And this is him not being the War Doctor.
And this is my partner, Louisa Tixon.
It's our first time on Fault.
Oakview Beach. You see anywhere to park?
At any point during training, did you imagine you'd have to investigate something like this?
Deceased has been identified by his wife as the local mayor, Mortimer Stewart. Heads up, said wife is also the sheriff.
The deceased is...
the wife's the sheriff. Is there an authority figure that's a bloke left in Doctor Who? I don't think so. Right?
Left in the world.
Yeah, I don't know.
In position to act as the hands of an analog clock face.
I am meant to be the law in Oakview, and someone in my town, under my protection, kills my husband?
Okay, that sent me right back to... what was that awful release they did with the 8th Doctor in its first season and the Brigadier? Minuet in Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, God, with lots of very bad American accents.
The rest of the clock face has been made up with dead fish.
Everyone embraced the blasphemy of no time.
Again, the body indicates a time of 7:10.
However much you dig, whatever progress you think you're making, you'll never work it out.
You freed him from divinity.
Look at all this. Imagine hating time so much you scratch the dates off everyone's graves.
And again, it's surrealistic, but again, this is not what people go to the War Doctor for. You know, they go for war scores, essentially, with Doctor Who.
He's no more than you.
You sure you've never been here before?
The town at war with time? Pretty sure I'd remember.
Powers that can alter time and space.
Don't. Well, the guy who did it, he was this doctor from Gallifrey, and apparently he looked a little like you.
How did the Doctor die?
Big Finish.
Queerness, apparently. That seems to wipe it out pretty good. This Sixth Doctor is set. Looks like the first good Sixth Doctor thing they've done in about 7 years. It's been a dire few years for the Sixth Doctor range, but this one with the Iris Wild theme, that's
Well, they made the mistake of asking Colin Baker the kind of stories he'd like to appear in and where he'd like to creatively take it.
Yeah, that's a mistake.
Big mistake.
Yeah. But I really like he's got the Terric what they call it again, the distributors, the one who do the annual pastiches.
I can never Terranius.
Yeah, whatever. I love the work there, but he's reading one of their books on the cover, which I think is really nice, right? I think so. I look, this one I'm probably going to stump up for. It's been the first Sixth Doctor one in years and years and years and years and years. I'm going to tell you. Fine. Shall we go back to the Warris Hussein one? This interview is actually quite good so far. He hasn't talked about sex once yet. Right. So you came in. I was looking at the AI recreation of Marco Polo being done by Midjourney.
Yeah.
That's coming out soon. That looks good. So fine. This is the preamble.
I love that photograph of Warris, Verity, and Sidney Newman. Love it. I've got that saved down.
That's not Sidney Newman, is it?
Oh, that's Bronnie Webber. Sorry, is it?
I can't.
Mervyn Pinfield. No, right. Yeah, whoever it is.
And they're saying he was 24 when he filmed it, and that's really one of the big problems with Doctor Who today. That you don't have. It's too precious. There's too many levels of management. They used to be able to make 13 episodes a year and 2 other series. Now it's 8 episodes every 18 months. If you're lucky, right? Go back to how you used to do it, because it was fine then, and the special effects were fine, everything was fine. So we had a very tight budget, blah 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 blah.
The episodes still stand up. So what was the problem?
Right. I mean, again, what would you rather watch? Doctor Who from 2006 or Doctor Who from 2025? It's not even close.
Not even a competition.
No, not at all. Fine. I was trying to make Doctor Who work. Looking at blah blah blah. But in fact, Warris was a young Asian and gay, a triple threat. For those raised eyebrows in 1963, well, they were all hidden under layers. Yeah, there wasn't that many layers. I couldn't let them come to the surface. You can't exactly hide being Asian, but one sexuality you could. In those days, it was frowned upon. It was as if my sexuality was a dirty thing, but it wasn't the 60s, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, look, it was considered. It was only just legal, wasn't it? When did same-sex relation become legal? It was like the 70s or the 60s?
I know that it was illegal. There was an age, the legal age for homosexual sex was different to the age for heterosexual.
Oh,
sex.
right, it was.
I can't quite remember.
But and again, look, I want to say to all the queer people out there, I acknowledge that the world has changed massively.
It's hard to understand, isn't it? That there would be that disparity. It seems so strange now. Unnecessary.
I mean, look, no. Here's the thing: the reason we can't understand it is because in the world we live in right now, there's no value put on traditional the traditional family life. Right back in the 60s and before, that was paramount to everyone. Like a traditional family life, that was your goal. Your goal was to have children and have a white picket fence or whatever, to have that traditional life. Right now, it's relentlessly denigrated, and so but why was it not socially acceptable to be gay? Because it was antithetical to that life. And now, I'm not going to pretend that was a right or a good thing, right? Even though it aligns with my religious worldview, being a cunt also doesn't align to it. So. And also I think same-sex marriage. My only problem was calling it marriage. But I think it's messed up that gay couples didn't have the same rights as straight couples. But anyway, look. In the 60s, it was, I would say, a much more moral and better world, frankly.
Oh, generally speaking, values and sense of a cultural sort of cohesive culture and pride and sense of not ambition as such, but a sense of what one was striving for personally, domestically, as well as sort of on a broader canvas.
And I like, you can see Warris here like striving for normalcy and exception, right? Which again, I think Russell Davis and people who this worldview have put onto the most bizarre fringe kink sexuality, right? I think being cross-dressing is a kink, and I think you get off on it, and it's fine that you do it. I have no problem with that. But like saying that, trying to say this is a normative, healthy sexuality, no, it's not. You're insane, right? And also maybe, and yeah, you can tell that. Okay, the real difference is this. I think exposure of gay people in media, right, as we grew up with in the 80s and more in the 90s, you know, EastEnders and like that did more to normalize gay life, right? So people like us now have no problem with someone being gay because we grew up with that. However, the more exposure you have to like weird transy culture stuff,
because if you remember Colin and Barry and EastEnders all the way back in 1986, you know, one of them worked for a painter and decorator. The other guy was a graphic designer. They went to the pub. They went to the laundrette. They had tea. They went to the pictures. They did the same things that everybody else did.
Representative of gay couples in the time.
Normal people.
We all had friends like that,
homosexual,
right?
Rather.
And it was like that was a great time. That's what made I think it brought us to the 2000s, which I think was a post-racial, post-bigotry age, which is sadly gone.
Now they would never put two gay characters like that in a soap. One of them would have to be a drag artist, a drag queen, and the other one would run a sex shop or something like that. it would be. Yes. They wouldn't work at a butcher's, or it would be anything like that.
Exactly. There's no normalization because they're so batshit fucking weird all the time. Anyway, at the time Warris was working on Doctor Who, male homosexual was still illegal in the UK. Well, good for you. So the guilt is still living in me, he says. I find it hard to introduce my partner as my husband even now. I can understand that. Okay. That's a perfectly normal thing to do because I would never have said that back then. These young people don't realize how lucky they are. They don't. And how fortunate it is that they can talk about themselves being gay or bi or trans. Being young today is a miracle. The young today are more miserable, right? And
miserable and medicated.
Miserable, medicated, and messed up, right? I think some weird, huge statistic, like 35% of Gen Z boys have never had an in-person conversation with a girl, right? It's like there is a lot of life experience and growth in asking a girl out, right?
Yes.
And you know, getting yourself to be able to do that means it makes you into a stronger person.
It really does. I was blown out more times than a windsock.
Yeah, but you want to get laid, so you know, try again, right? And it finally dawned on me, right, what the perfect package was when I was about 18, which was just like complete confidence, right? And eat. and that is that. Okay, if you're young and out there, right, if you're Gen Z and you've never asked a girl out, that's what you got to do. Like ask a girl out like you don't that you like her.
You don't care whether she goes or not. Yeah.
Right. And just relax and happy, but not that you're disinterested in her. It's an interesting balance. You'll get used to it. Okay, so decriminalized 67, right, for men over the age of 21. Scotland until 1980. Blimey. Wow, right, and the age of consent was not equalized until 2001. I imagine in BBC 963 is a very male-dominated environment full of straight men in tweed jacket. Well, no, I don't think it was actually. I think there was a lot of, certainly by the 80s, there was a lot of rampant.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea that was some sort of armor that it wasn't. That was our culture. That was British etiquette, British cultural identity, and there was nothing wrong with that.
In fact, there's quite a lot right with it. So it said it was ultra male. Anyone was out at the BBC? Was anyone out at BBC? Well, I'm sorry to say, underneath all the tweed and corduroy, the old school ties, there were a lot of old British hypocrisy of denying what was blatantly there. Do you remember one of my favorite things Russell Lee Davies wrote, A Very British Scandal? Did you see that?
In my view, that's the best thing he's ever written.
I really like it. There's a scene when you have the two politicians at the beginning and they're in a dinner club and they're basically feeling out if each other is gay, right? And they do you remember that scene? It was a really well-written scene. And I'm sure there was a lot of that, right? I'm sure there's a ton of that. So you just confirmed, yes, you weren't allowed to discuss it, but there was a lot of being gay at the BBC. I remember one day I was looking at a monitor and somebody came up behind me and touched my derriere. I pretended to be very indignant and said, "What do you think you're doing?" Because I wasn't out. Well, you guess you were, mate. He said, I thought, but I thought, how the heck? How I get any clue? Yes. That moment clued me in. There were more people in the building hiding who they were. Yes, I understand. So BBC had a secret coven of gays. There was a kind of defiance to it. As well. No one knew. You're not hiding. Everybody knew, right? Everybody knew. The BBC.
I mean, it's odd that, and I'm sure that Warris is being honest in this account of how he viewed things. Yeah. But it's odd that when you see the evidence, when you read interviews and hear interviews with other people, both straight and gay people around that time, there doesn't seem to be any mystery about it at all. No. There was lots of gay people working there, and everybody knew about it. So it seems like Warris was the only one who didn't know.
Maybe more. I mean, like, certainly John Nathan Turner and Gary Downey, they certainly knew.
They made it their business to make sure that everybody...
I wish somebody would make a sequel to Adventure in Time and Space based on that era of Doctor Who, the cancellation. With who would you get to play John Nathan Turner? I don't know. Matt Berry, maybe.
Thing is, I think, because we view John Nathan Turner as quite an exaggerated character. I think you'd have to give it to. I mean, who's that bloke who plays Strike? Who plays Robert Galbraith Strike?
I don't know.
He was in Casanova. Tom. I think, you'd have to give it to a straight actor. You'd have to give it to somebody who could play the part. Not in an exaggerated way, particularly wearing those sort of shirts and things. You have to be a good actor.
You get carried down is much easier to cast. But again, I do think it was messed up. Like, what was it on the Two Doctors DVD? Gary Downey, he was still alive then. Gary Downey, if you didn't know, was
I remember.
Long-time partner, right? And I really recommend the book, The Life and Scandalous Times of John Nathan Turner. It tells you all about their tempestuous relationship, which was fascinating, right? It's really interesting. But like, he was presenting something on a DVD and he wasn't able to say he was his John Nathan Turner's longtime spouse, which is what he was. So it's even then, and it was like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So but you know why? Because I think it's more his attitude. That's what he grew up with. That's what got to keep it quiet.
Something sort of ingrained in him.
Right. So Variety must have known. I was doing in 1978 Edward and Mrs. Simpson for her. I didn't know she did that. Blimey. Lambert was the head of drama at Thames Television. She absolutely knew, but she never went into it with me. Never. Why would she? What's that got to do with anything?
Nobody's business, but the gentleman themselves. It's not
right. Exactly. I don't really talk about my sexuality much, except in this massive interview. Even now. Okay. Why? You know why? Because you're brought up in a more moral age where we didn't constantly talk about, like wanting to have sex. I mean, like, well, I do, but I mean, like, you wait for it, right?
Whenever I've seen Warris Hussein interviewed or speaking, he always seems like a very happy man, but he's got an air of sort of dignity, of congeniality about him.
Yeah, dignity is 100% the right word, right? He absolutely does. When you write this up, Doctor Who fans are going to be like, what? Variety was a very wise woman. She got the best from me. What's it? Even that. What do I miss? I don't want to talk about sexuality. There's no point although there's no point hiding, but there is a point hiding it. I'm sorry. There's a point in everybody having some kind of like modesty, right? It's a good idea. It makes the world a better place. I don't mind that you're gay. Just stop like throwing your cum in my face, right? And I think that's.
I'm going to say to see virtue in modesty doesn't mean that one has to sort of embrace shame and the idea of villainizing or compartmentalizing and labeling people as othering people. I suppose is the phrase that we use now, isn't it? The two things don't necessarily go hand in hand, though. I think modesty and propriety. Not bad things, virtues.
That's what we got here. This is an interesting one. I'm reminded of a line in one of what Warris's Doctor Who episode. Fear makes companions of us all, Miss Wright. It's an interesting point. It is an interesting point.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted Doctor Who to be scary. Again, is he basically talking about his life, being brought up, Victorian school system, Warris's sister, blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm more interested about. I would be much more interested about his life and career, frankly, like because he was a trailblazer, so he felt loyal to Verity.
It's good that he's opened up to any writer in this way. The more that we find out about these people who are essential in the founding of the show, whilst they're still with us, the better. Yes, and I suppose you could say it's a valuable sort of cultural document, talking to a man of that generation in this way. Again, though, as much as I am delighted that Warris Hussein has spoken to Doctor Who magazine, and don't begrudge Ben getting this interview at all, you do wonder, an interview of this nature, would it not be better off sold to the Pink Paper or one of those places? I don't know.
So anyway, then we start talking about woke stuff again. Then was a complicated matter of the show's twinkly, cantankerous, contradictory leading man, William Hartnell.
Oh, here we go. They're going to have a pop at him now, are they?
Really? An interview in the Telegraph last year, Warris was asked about the actor's bigotry, anti-Semitism, xenophobia, and homophobia have all been well documented. Well, he got an okay with Verity Lambert, who was super Jewish, as far as I right. What did Warris make of this? He thought, who on earth is this foreigner with a posh accent directing me? Do you find that hateful?
No, not remotely.
I don't. I just find you're looking at things with a specific attitude. Are you looking at him like he's less? I think you probably are actually. With that, I don't know. But it's not like he's saying, give him a kicking, right?
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with having standards and concerns, and having by all accounts, William Hartnell really wanted the best for that production. It wasn't necessarily a case of if this kid, if this immigrant child, it makes a hash of directing this, how it's going to affect my career. It didn't. I don't think he looked at it like that. It's more a case of, is this man experienced enough to be the director who launches this show, which is an ensemble show,
you're making a good
which
point
could,
there.
So again, I think you can read. I think that they're reading. I think one can read too much into this. I haven't read.
Reading too much into it. I think that's the thrust of the article is that gay people are victimized, are victims, right? Which I think is something that's very important, a worldview for Ben Cook to have. So he said very cleverly, but I'm never allowed to think of anything other than a director. Very smart move, right? So today Warris clarifies Bill didn't use homophobic language, but he was a dyed-in-the-wool Brit, and homophobia was baked into old-fashioned British mindset. He was like a colonial bod. He would have been sent off to Burma or wherever. To him, when he met me, I was just this little Indian kid, a coloured boy, But you would have thought he's in the arty set.
He is and was Indian,
right?
He is Indian. So what's his point? It's not clearly Hartnell didn't dismiss this as he could have. If he had a problem with it, I presume he was the lead. He could have refused to work with him or kicked up some sort of stink. He clearly didn't. So of course the fucking problem.
Yeah, I mean, again, I understand there's a cultural difference to being a different color in England when
But what Warris says here, and I know he only worked on it for a couple of months, Hartnell didn't use any, he didn't demonstrate any homophobia whatsoever. By this account, none at all. It's everything, it's what is being seen in him as a type. They're forcing labels onto a man who has been dead for this year 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. What do you say to somebody who fought in World War II and was proud of the British and flew the flag? You should say, I'm proud as well, right? Especially in today's Britain, where you can be proud to be gay and British. And there's no tension between the two.
See, Warris does seem to have generally quite a healthy grasp of this, but I feel that the interview is fishing for something that simply isn't there.
Yeah, this is Ben Cook pulling out a narrative. He tested me, I guess, and found me competent, and then he respected me. But instead, I think Doctor Who rested on his shoulders. Oh yeah, I think that's basically what you were saying. So man, this has to go on for a bit. Man, another thing, I can't read all of this. But
it's
again,
a generous page count, which is fitting for a man like Warris Hussein, and it does seem like it goes into greater depth than the stuff people. Why is Russell T Davies got that fucking terrible moustache?
Oh, I remember. Yeah, he I think he was contemplating impersonating a gay porn star.
Was it Movember or something like that? Was he doing it for a charity thing?
No idea. It's a very. I very specifically went along to meet Warris Hussein that day. Said Russell T Davies on the reflecting on the 2017 LGBTQIA+ month celebration at the music. Okay, again, and I just recommend to everybody queer, right? And this is a heartfelt recommendation. Stop going on about being queer. Stop going like you can be. Look, I'm very proud of being Jewish, right? I don't need Jewish Pride Day. I'm proud every day, baby. But you can be gay and be not gay. You can be queer and be the same, right? You can be the only reason you need all these Pride months is because you're not very proud. You're trying to legitimize yourself, right? And I think that's the only explanation. Are you on later today?
Are we on later today? Of course we're on later. What? Say later today?
Are we on, mate? Let me tell you.
Just over an hour, we are on for more Doctor Who talk, more nonsense, more pinkness, and more of him, Mr. Sheety Gatwa, sort of in fully dressed again, dressed like a normal person. We're having a conversation, myself and a few of the regular panelists. Like, who's on tonight? I can't remember who's on tonight off the top of my head, but it's a good bunch. And we're going to have a cracking conversation. So come and join us over there on the Type 40 channel on Rumble or on YouTube.
The Drashig head there. I know that the Drashig is from the Third Doctor toy set. The enemies of the Third Doctor set. You had that. You had Omega. And what else is in there? Was it that Omega and a Gel Guard?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I thought was it an Auton? I can't.
It might have been an Auton. I'm looking over at my action figures. Right? It's like, yeah, it might have been. Yeah, you definitely had the Gel Guard. No, it was the Gel Guard, Omega, and the Drashig, I think.
I do like to put.
Puppet. It was a wonderful toy.
That's it. I do like to put some action figures and stuff, dot them around here and there on thumbnails, mainly because it makes me laugh. It just makes me feel like.
I know. I'm so not looking forward to this new season. The other thing what annoys me more is I'm not going to be able to see it on the day it comes out because it's Passover, which really irritates me. Okay, this is such a Jewish complaint. You have two Jews at a deli. Go, the soup here is terrible. It's watery. There's no noodle. It's awful. And then you go, yeah, and the portions are so small too. That's the
Well, we've got 3 weeks until all hell breaks loose again, and so I've been weighing up how to do whatever I'm going to do, because initially I thought, well, should I? Do people want to hear from me about each and every episode of this? I don't know. Yes, they do. Yes. They do, judging by the messages I've been sent. So yeah, that we'll be having lots of fun with this. So for 8 weeks, concentrated Doctor Who.
Do we know if it's going to be over 8 weeks, or are they going to do like the first part?
No, it is definitely one per week, 100%. It's been confirmed.
All right, man, that was
Thank fuck for that.
it was doing the first 2 in one day. Oh god, that was a nightmare. Right? The thing is, all this was written well before they knew it was a total failure. So it's going to be much more of the same. Although, from the trailer, I think the everything other than the writing and the acting has definitely improved. Right?
I could say I fall short. I can't. I don't sign up with the idea that this is just going to be more of the same. I think,
really?
Even though there was only about 2 months downtime in between filming of the 2 runs, I think that there's a stylistic difference you can see already, and they'll have done. And there's more to making television than simply filming dramatic material. This season has spent
learning how to do it, and I think this trailer shows you what they wanted to do in the first season and they were failing at. Right?
And this season has spent a considerably longer period of time in post-production. They've been able to go back into it and think, okay, this tonally, and of course Russell will never own up to this. He still hasn't really owned up to much about his original stint. They will have adjusted things based on what played well or didn't play well last year. I don't think he'll have dialed back on the stuff that we hate the most, on the DEI and the wokeness.
No,
but
I don't think they had no idea of its intense failure. Right,
but that kind of
making this.
But that content wasn't the only failure of season 1. It had, I wouldn't say it was amateurish, but you're aware, you couldn't help but notice that it wasn't as tightly put together as the stuff from 20 years ago.
Right. No, I think the difference was less care put into it. Right. The 2005 series, which I'm going to be delving into quite a lot in the coming week for the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, me too.
The 2005 series was dripping with care and attention, and even though I think the David Tennant's first season was a quantum leap in superiority in production values over the first season, right? Because again, they've learned how to do it essentially, which I think again we're going to see here. But yeah, sadly, I think this is the last 8 episodes of Doctor Who that we're going to be seeing for quite so many years.
It does seem that way. So we've got a little bit of that to get into. We've got a couple of news items which I think nobody else has spoken about. Ooh. And we're getting between the pages of the special Radio Times 20th anniversary edition for New Doctor Who. We've got all the snippets from that. If you've seen the cover price on that and you think there's no way I'm spending a $5 on a TV guide for a couple of pages of Doctor Who content, you don't need to. We're all over it.
I was going to wait till I could legally download it somewhere. Well, I wonder how much it is to buy it. Because you can get it on Pocket Mags, which is where I get my Doctor Who magazine. Maybe I will. I don't know. Who knows what they're doing? All I know is I'm heading off into the sunset. We're back on Saturday night, aren't we?
We are back on Saturday night for the Spacebook Live, yes, with myself and him, the great Bowles Trek and Noel Glynn from the TARDIS Zone.
Oh, Noel's back. Awesome.
Back.
Can you give me a sneak peek of what we're talking about?
Probably Daredevil, probably the new Toxic Avenger trailer, and whatever we didn't get around to talking about last time, because I don't want to waste the material.
Derailed everything with, I don't know.
Yes. But be a nice casual conversation on Saturday night with us being silly buggers, as always, with lots of old adverts, stupid jokes, and Bowles Trek's public information horror films
they're awesome.
As well.
They are awesome. I cannot recommend them highly enough. Okay, I think with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head off into the sunset. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button and join down in an hour or 2 of your Earth minutes.
Please do.
For more fun and frivolity. Hit the end broadcast button and hit again.